Matthew McConaughey is more than an incredible actor. He's very method, by the way.
Yeah.
He's scary. He's scary because the first time I'm doing a scene with him, we do the scene and cut. And I'm like, okay, cool. Good scene, right? And right away he's like, so Tobias. He called me Tobias because that's the name of the character in the movie. And I'm thinking maybe he just doesn't know my name's Gabriel. He's just going to call me Tobias. So Tobias, how are we looking tonight on the numbers? I'm like, I don't know. Well, when you find out, you let me know. And I'm like, okay, does he know that we just said cut? And he kept going.
Right.
So then we're over at we went to lunch and we're catering and stuff like that. And he comes up, he's got the tray, and he's like, "What kind of sound system are you working with tonight?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's it's not really my system. I'm messing with a little keyboard.
Yeah.
It's not mine, but I'll let you know." So how long you been DJ? I'm not. And at one point it clicked. He's still in character. He would not break character. And it scared the shit out of me. Because every time he look at me, he's like, "Tobias." I'm like, I gotta pee. And I'd walk away. And finally, on the last day of the shoot, when they yelled, "It's a wrap," he because everybody was on such a strict diet for the film to stay shredded. On the last day, he winds up ordering rallies, which is basically like Checkers on the West Coast. Ordered a bunch of burgers and stuff for the guys, and we're hanging out at the bar, and I'm way at the end, right? Yeah. And he goes, "Gabriel," and he called me by my name, and I'm like, "What?" I go, "Don't you mean Tobias?" He goes, "Oh, come on, baby." And then he starts telling me, he goes, when I get in character, I commit to that character. And I'm like, "Bro, I thought you were crazy." And so we were cool. And then I ran into him recently at a wrestling event, and he was so sweet.
That's awesome.
But he is an amazing actor and very committed, and he deserves all the accolades.
So I'm assuming that's your favorite part of the set, because you're talking to Matthew McConaughey, one of the stars. He never breaks character. So every time he sees you, he's asking you questions that a DJ should know because you're the DJ.
Yeah, and I've never touched a record, so so yeah, it freaked me out, But I had so much fun doing that movie. Channing was incredibly nice and patient with me because it was my first movie, so the first scenes were with him, and I was messing up. Lines. I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get fired." But he was super patient with me, and I really appreciated that. And then again, being able to work with Steven Soderbergh, and then one of my favorite wrestlers, Kevin Nash, that was really, really cool for me.
I don't know if this is but you've seen this. You see Gene Wilder do it, comedian. You see Richard Pryor, comedians that do television. You see Kevin Hart, and you've seen Cat Williams, and you've seen Bernie Mac, and you've seen so many guys that start out on the tour, and then all of a sudden they get. Was that something that you sought out? Is that what you wanted to do? Did you ever think that being a comedian would lead you to TV?
I think early on as a comic, you're conditioned to think that there's certain things you're supposed to strive for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, I love being a comic. That's my favorite thing. I'm not using comedy to become an actor, to become a movie star, to become this or become that. Whereas I feel like a lot of comics get into that as a stepping stone.
Right.
I don't see comedy as a stepping stone.
Okay.
I see comedy as the destination. That's what I wanted to be. But early on, everybody's telling you got to have a Tonight Show. You got to have a HBO special. Back then, it was only an HBO special.
Right.
You need a sitcom, and then you need a development deal, and you need movies, and you're conditioned to think that's what you're supposed to do. And it took a while for me to just break that and go, you know what? I've done TV shows. Right. It's cool to say you're on a show. When you're doing a movie, it's great to say, look, I'm on the poster. But people don't realize the amount of work that goes into it. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of sitting around, Gabe, to be honest with you.
Well, a lot of waiting. Hurry up and wait. We need you on the set at 6 a.m. and then you're on the set at 10. And you're like, I could have been sleeping this whole time.
Yes. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving away $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dive, every board even more exciting. So don't miss a chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. March is officially here, which means the best time of year for all you basketball fans. The badness is upon us, and the league is in the final stretch before the playoffs. Find your community on Prize Picks with new social features. You can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tell or fade our picks just with one click. Get in on the action at Prize Picks. It's now available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just download the Prize Pick app today. Use code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. I can just imagine a movie that's 90 minutes or 120 minutes. Because a commercial that's only 30 seconds might take you 2 days. So I can imagine a movie that's going 90 minutes to 120 minutes. How much actual downtime sitting around. You're like, bro, we really could have shot this movie in like a month. If y'all weren't bulljack, we really could have shot this movie in a month. It didn't take 6 months to shoot this movie.
There's a lot of that. So I applaud people like Kevin who has that work ethic, who actually wants to do those roles and
still find time for
more
his
power
stand-up.
to you, and still makes time for staff.
And he does TV. And he's co-produced.
I firmly believe there's like 9 Kevin Harts.
They gotta be.
There's gotta be,
They
man.
gotta be.
There's one at the gym. There's one at the movie set right now. There's one promoting films. You know, he's a workaholic, man, and I don't have that energy.
Right.
You know, so I applaud him. Good for him. Very happy for him.
Has there ever been an audition that you bombed and you're like, yeah, I'm not getting this role?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot of auditions. Early on, I would go on auditions all the time because my manager said that's what I needed to do.
Right.
You know, so I was always on that freeway. So when I said earlier, man, I took on that 405 for you.
Yeah.
It was traffic, and I'm just like, only because it's Shay Shay.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, after a while, I says, you know what? I'm tired. This is depressing. You go on these auditions, they tell you you're doing great. Oh my God, that's so good. And then they call you, you know, you get the follow-up ones. Now you got to do the second round or the third round. And then they start whittling down all the people until they get the one.
Right.
And you think you're doing good. And then it's like, all right, you don't hear nothing. And it's just like, I wasted all that time. So eventually I got tired of going on all these auditions. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to focus on what I love.
Right.
I love comedy. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to make that priority, give 110% of my energy. And if something comes from that, in which case, that's how I got the part in Magic Mike. I didn't audition for it.
Right.
Someone saw me, Channing, and said, dude, this guy's funny. We need him in the movie.
He'd be perfect for the part.
And that's how I got that. And that's how I get these voiceover roles. No one says, hey, can you come in and read for this and that? Now everybody's like, no, the very funny Gabriel Iglesias, we need him in the movie. And I'm just like, oh my God, I should have been doing that from the get. Wow. You know what I mean? So I focused all my energy into the one thing and made myself really good at that one thing. And because of that, now I'm here. You know what I mean?
And we
thank you.
and we appreciate you being here. Do they ever tell you on set, don't talk to certain actors? Because you hear certain things like you don't talk to this guy, you don't talk to that person. Do you go out of your way, or do you just like, okay, I'll speak to if spoken to?
I don't think I've been on a set where I had to be that way.
Okay.
But I've heard many stories where you have to act a certain way, look at the ground, don't look at that person, don't ask questions, don't engage.
You really can't look at a person. You can't look at a person.
I've heard many stories like that where you're not supposed to look at certain talent. I've not been told, don't do that, but I've heard a lot of stories where this, you know.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Just kind of like, don't do it. You're going to disappoint yourself. And I'm like, okay.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before two something.